28 miles north of London and boasts a number of sporting stars. From the likes of Formula One's Martin Brundle to rugby's Ali Price and George North. Tonight, though, it's all about the Speedway stars of the Adrian Flux Arena. Good evening and welcome to Norfolk and the home of one of the most talked about clubs over the last few weeks. Tonight the Kings Lynn Stars are hoping to do their talking on the track though with a revamped lineup against the Somerset Rebels.
Good evening everybody, welcome along. Looking forward to this one. It is a big meeting in many ways for both sides. Kings Lynn still have hopes that they can sneak a playoff spot, the top four in the Premiership. And the Somerset Rebels desperate to avoid the wooden spoon, desperate to avoid a potential relegation battle.
Team will feel a little bit lacking possibly in confidence, and they need a good boost here. Robert Lambert out in heat one going from gate 3. They chose gates 1 and 3. They won the coin toss. They need to get off to a decent start.
Thomas Jorgensen goes off the inside. He's been a good recent signing for the Stars. Cameron Heaps, gate 2 in yellow for the Rebels. Robert Lambert fighting through the pain barrier tonight to race. He goes off gate 3 in red. He's got a knee problem. And Richard Lawson going off the outside in white. And certainly plenty of controversy, plenty of headlines surrounding Kings Lynn with the departure of Chris Holder and Troy Batchelor. Major disappointment that it hasn't worked out. But you nailed it, Kelb, at the top of the show. I guess the show has to go on here at Kings Lynn.
Indeed it does, and it is. And it's disappointing, of course, particularly for those two riders, but Thomas H. Jonasson and Michael Palm-Toft come in to replace, and they'll be keeping their fingers crossed that they can put on a really big display. Settling down for heat number 1, time meeting this could be really interesting. Robert Lambert going out of gate 3. He'll be desperate to get off to a really lightning start here.
Yeah, wearing that knee brace, Robert Lambert, he has got problems. Heat number 1, here we go. Kings Lynn in the red and blue helmet colours, and they made a good start here. Thomas Jorgensen is the man in blue. Can Robert Lambert go and join him around the outside? Watch out for Lawson in white now. The man in yellow and black is Cameron Heaps for Somerset, but Kings Lynn are on a 5-1. Heaps comes through though. Cameron Heaps really heaping pressure on Robert Lambert. Richard Lawson at the back. That was a smart move by Cameron Heaps. Lambert's going to come back for more. Here he goes up the inside of the back straight. It's a 4-2 to Kings Lynn as it stands.
Strong move there from Heaps. Really did charge up the inside of Robert Lambert. Smashing start from Thomas Jonasson away from the inside, looking comfortable out in front. Youngster there, the Australian Cameron Heaps. He's riding nicely here. That really was a brilliant move from him to get the better of Robert Lambert. Into the last lap here, looking like a 4-2 to the home team. Decent start then.
Yeah, Thomas Jorgensen, a very classy rider, very stylish, and actually certainly a very astute signing by Kings Lynn to bring him in here. And Jorgensen is going to take the checkered flag in the first race of the night. It's a win for Thomas Jorgensen. Second place Cameron Heaps, who barged his way up the inside of Robert Lambert. And that is a good start for the Kings Lynn Stars. You did get the feeling they needed to get off to a good one after their home defeat here last Wednesday night, which was the start of life without Holder and Batchelor. And Jorgensen has just won heat number 1 in very impressive style.
Yeah, brilliant stuff. He took full advantage of the inside gate, made a great start. The bike drove really nicely to the first corner. Looked like a 5-1 for a moment, but Cameron Heaps had other ideas.
Jorgensen the winner, Cameron Heaps was second, Robert Lambert third, Richard Lawson at the back, which was a bit of a surprise there. But it's a 4-2 to the Kings Lynn Stars, and they have that 2-point advantage after the opening race of the night.
Yeah, super start from the inside with the man in the blue helmet colour. They come charging in as a pair, the Kings Lynn Stars here at this very early stage. You can see the front wheel over the front, the white line there, takes the shortest routes, has a little look for his teammate, again from the tapes. Super start from the inside gate. He's joined there by Robert Lambert coming from gate 3, but it doesn't stay that way for very long because young Cameron Heaps comes charging into turn 3, just up the inside. There's a little bit of racing room there, and the young Australian gets himself nicely through into second place. That man there, Thomas Jorgensen, though, out in front, he'll be really pleased with that. That was an excellent display from him.
Good pedigree, Jorgensen in the second division. Berwick Bandits, Workington Comets. Very likeable young man, good character. And certainly has settled in very well here at Norfolk with the Stars. And a good win in heat number 1.
And renowned for his starting. We've seen him riding in the championship on occasions. And he can be really sharp away from the tapes. And certainly in heat 1, he rocketed away from that inside gate.
Move on on to heat number 6, Robert Lambert, another young man I first saw in the National League when he rode for the Kings Lynn Young Stars as a youngster in 2013, and certainly developing nicely as an international rider now as well. But he's got a tough job on his hands here, and there is it. Remember where you saw that youngster first on a bike?
Yeah, well, we saw him in 2017, Nigel, in August, so we'll be making a note in our diary. A few years from now.
Yeah.
Mark will be entertaining us out on track.
I was at Leicester on Saturday to go and watch a bit of speedway. They had a bouncy castle there, which was great. I thought about having a go. Right, heat number 6. Here we go. 15 points apiece at the Adrian Flux Arena. Great start from Josh Krzyzonic in white. He's made an absolute beauty there for the Somerset Rebels. Now charging hard around the outside, Thomas Jorgensen. Krzyzonic's got lots of speed though. Jorgensen is second. It's Robert Lambert third, and at the back at the moment is Jake Allen in yellow and black. But watch out for Thomas Jorgensen. He really is chasing hard after Josh Krzyzonic, but I reckon Krzyzonic will really take some stopping here.
Indeed he will. That's a terrific start from Josh Krzyzonic. He rode nicely in his opening ride to get a 5-1 with his partner. Jake Allen is having a hard night, having been excluded in his opening ride, is out the back. I say Thomas Jorgensen really is riding nicely there in second place. He's keeping Krzyzonic very honest in front. And Robert Lambert, I'm going to say he's probably just a touch below his best. That injury to his left knee is probably just making him feel a little bit awkward. But out in front for the Rebels, they've come here and they mean business tonight.
Yeah, very much so. Josh Krzyzonic looking very smooth, very stylish indeed. It's going to be level again after heat number 6 because it's a share of the spoils. Very, very tight contest, this one. We thought it would be, and that's a fine ride from Josh Krzyzonic for the Somerset Rebels, with Thomas Jorgensen chasing him hard. Robert Lambert, for me, isn't turning the bike as naturally as he normally would. He's got that knee brace on, he's in quite a lot of discomfort, but he's picked up a point there, and Jake Allen at the back. It's a 3-all. It means it's Kings Lynn Stars 18, Somerset Rebels 18.
I'd agree with you. I don't think Robert's quite at his best tonight. Limping around the pits before the meeting started with a heavily strapped left knee. And he goes from gate 1 but doesn't make a good getaway. The exact opposite is true for Krzyzonic. Nice first corner, has a look over his right shoulder, doesn't see his teammate. He knows he's now on his own. He knows he's got to put his head down and just charge away out in front. Got to say, Kai Hülkenberg, Thomas Jorgensen coming on strong in second place. He's riding strongly, but Krzyzonic, as you rightly said, midway through that race, looked like he had it under control, and it proved to be so. And a rider that I don't think has probably fulfilled all the potential, Krzyzonic. I think he's got more to give. I think he could well be an international rider, but he's a solid performer for his clubs in the UK.
Yeah, good to see them enjoying themselves as well. Jorgensen and Krzyzonic comparing notes and enjoying that race. Heat number 6, having a bit of a giggle. Well, he was quicker away from the start, wasn't he, which was the key to that one.
It's very easy actually coming here as a rider when you don't know the place. You can underestimate the level of grip here, Nigel. With this type of surface, it looks like you should have a small sprocket on, and in truth, you need a big one. And
let's just confirm the gate positions. Kerr, Pawsing, Heaps and Jorgensen.
It is indeed, and there's no doubt that these 4 riders are really competitive tonight. Lewis Kerr knows the place well, has ridden nicely so far this evening. Cameron Heaps is really having a smashing night, and there's no doubt that he's thoroughly enjoying his evening. And it's 21 points apiece, so something's got to give at some point. Nicholas Pawsing is making his way into the meeting. Needs to get away from the start better, Nicholas. He's made a couple of howlers, really, lifting away. You can ill afford to give people a head start because this track is so fast and quite grippy, and there's one really fast line, so it makes overtaking very difficult indeed. So once again, all level, heat number 8, good racing prospect.
Yep, here we go. Big race indeed. 21 points apiece in this big showdown at the Adrian Flux Arena, and the man in blue, Nicholas Pawsing, paid the price for lifting at the start, but what a getaway from Thomas Jorgensen. He's Kings Lynn's best and most consistent rider right now, Jorgensen, but he's coming under serious pressure now from Lewis Kerr in yellow and black, Cameron Heaps in white, and Pawsing hasn't given up at the back yet for Kings Lynn either. It's getting close, it's getting tense, but if it does stay like this, still it'll be deadlock.
Yeah, and I think Cameron Heaps is he's stuck in traffic there. I think he probably's got a little bit more pace. and would love to get to the front, but he's ridden a good roll there because there's no doubt Porsing was coming on strong. Out in front, Thomas Jorgensen looking good, but Lewis Kerr, he's building momentum in second place, and he's going to have to really winding on into the last lap. Thomas Jorgensen looking good for the home team.
Yeah, Jorgensen, the best rider so far, looking set for 8 points out of a possible 9, but he's still got a bit of work to do here. In the front, under a little bit of pressure from Lewis Kerr and Cameron Heaps in white. It's going to be a win for Thomas Jorgensen. Second place, Lewis Kerr. Third was Cameron Heaps, and Nicholas Porsing struggling there. First meeting back for Kings Lynn after a leg injury. But certainly finding the pace a little bit too hot to handle on occasions tonight, Porsing. But what about that from Thomas Jorgensen, number 2 in the team, 8 points out of 9, carrying the Kings Lynn hopes superbly.
Doing a great job this evening, really is on top form. And he's sharp away from the tapes, a super start, and he swooped across the opposition as he got to the first corner. Home crowd delighted, rightly so. He's only dropped 1 point in his opening 3 rides. Thomas Jorgensen doing the business for the Stars this evening.
Yep, so Thomas Jorgensen the winner with Lewis Kerr second, Cameron Heaps third, and Nicholas Porsing at the back. 3-all, and still after 8 races here, Kings Lynn Stars 24, Somerset Rebels 24.
Yeah, Nicholas Porsing in the blue helmet colour there, once again lifting violently on the start, and that really puts paid to his chances. Great start from Jorgensen. Look at this. Bike driving hard from the outside. You've got to love that. As a rider, that is such a good feeling. You know that you've got a good chance. And he swept across the other 3 riders. And he looks very classy in front. A strong ride from Lewis Kerr in second place kept him very honest. But 8 out of 9 points is a terrific return.
Yep, so it's level here, 24 points apiece between the Kings Lynn Stars. Heat number 10, still, as Kelvin says, nothing between them. Patrick Hugard off the inside in yellow and black here for the Rebels. Gate 2 in blue is Thomas Jorgensen for the home side, Kings Lynn. Charles Wright, gate 3 white for Somerset. Going off the outside is the Kings Lynn number 1, Robert Lambert. Carrying that injury, as we mentioned earlier. He's off the outside gate, so we really are getting down to the nitty-gritty part of this meeting now.
We are second half of the meeting. It's business time. Who's going to stamp their authority on this meeting? We've seen 1-5-1 from the Rebels, and then the Stars have bounced back. It's been a little bit of bad fortune, a few riders out of form. You've got to say Jake Allen and Richard Lawson are struggling for the Rebels, and there's time to put that right for Lawson. But 27 points apiece, and heat number 10, Robert Lambert out here with Thomas Jorgensen. Thomas Jorgensen really has been a terrific rider for the home team. Can he continue here in heat number 10?
Elsewhere, by the way, 9 heats gone at Wolverhampton. It's Wolves 32, Poole 22. But nothing in it here after 9. 27 points apiece here at the Adrian Flux Arena. Heat number 10 it is, and that's a super start from Thomas Jorgensen from gate 2. Can he be joined by Robert Lambert now? Lambert comes around the outside. Bit of team riding needed from the Stars duo here with Hugard and Charles Wright, and Hugard's trying the inside run, but Lambert's taking up the lead. Will he look over his shoulder? Will we see some team riding as Thomas Jorgensen follows him? And this could be the breakthrough moment for the Kings Lynn Stars.
Well, on the build-up to the race, we thought there must be an opportunity sometime for a team to stamp their authority, and the Stars, the home team, looking good here. Robert Lambert suddenly looks a lot more animated on the bike. Nigel clearly loving it out in front. Thomas Jorgensen continuing his good form. This pairing looking very strong. Right back in third. I'm going to say he looks very strong there, and Patrick Hugard out the back. This is just what the doctor ordered for the Kings Lynn Stars.
Track looking very smooth here as the Kings Lynn boys were winding on. Robert Lambert with his best race of the night and looks a lot more comfortable there.
Yeah.
I suggested earlier that maybe he was struggling to turn the bike as he naturally does, but that time it looked very, very natural indeed. A 5-1 for Kings Lynn, and now it's up to Somerset to try and bounce back themselves as the Stars open up a 4-point gap, perfectly timed as well, with 5 heats remaining. Lambert, Jorgensen, Wright, 5-1, and Thomas Jorgensen is the man of the match tonight for Kings Lynn so far. in my reckoning, he's only dropped 1 point to an opposing rider, and Robert Lambert is coming good as well, Kel.
Yeah, much more like Robert Lambert. That was the proper Lambert we saw here. Great start from Thomas Jorgensen once again. Got his front wheel right on the inside as he comes into the first corner. Again, 2 looks over his right shoulder. He knows it's his teammate. He gives him racing room, allows him to come round the outside. Good bit of team riding there. Jorgensen really riding on top form here this evening. Loving it. Look, looks to the right. He recognises it. He knows it's his teammate, gives him racing room, and now they're on a big 5-1.
It is Wolverhampton 38, Poole 31. Here, it's 34-32 to the Kings Lynn Stars. 4 heats to go. It's entertaining, and we're back in a few moments.
It's been a great night for Thomas Jorgensen for the Stars, and he's speaking to Steve Brandon.
Thanks, Natalie. Yes, indeed. Thomas, 11 heats gone, 2 points up for Kings Lynn, but your performance tonight, 10 paid 11 from 4 rides. Your night may not be over, but it's going very well so far.
Yeah, all I've done is just making some good starts, and the track is really, really nice, and of course the stars are really grippy as well as always high in Kings Lynn, and you just need to get your head over the bars and the bike will just launch forward. And I mean, as I said, the track is spot on, and they've done an awesome job. It's produced some good racing as well, and but yeah, it's much easier if you get out of the start. It makes life much easier.
You're doubling up now with Kings Lynn in the Premiership and Workington in the Championship. As a rider, having lots of meetings, is that a plus this time of the season? Yeah,
it definitely is. Yeah, it helps you staying sharp on the bike and keeping bike fit. And it's yeah, I ended off on doing like one meeting a week till 3, 4, even 4 or 5 times a week, and it definitely helps a lot. And yeah, just stay focused, and you haven't got time to think too much about things, and yeah, it's definitely a bonus. I'm just happy to get the chance, really, and I just go out and try my best every heat. And yeah, it's still really, really tight, but I try not to look at the score. I just try to focus on my own riding and keep my head down. And but yeah, I know it is pretty level, so we need to fight till heat 15.
Building up to heat number 15 then, just to explain once again the permutations here. Kings Lynn Stars need a 5-1. They need to finish first and second here. Thomas Jorgensen in red, Robert Lambert in blue. Thomas Jorgensen off the inside for the Stars. Gate 2, Josh Grzonik for Somerset in white. Gate 3 in blue, Robert Lambert for Kings Lynn. And off the outside in yellow, Cameron Heaps, who's had a wonderful night for the Somerset Rebels. Heat 15, Lewis Kerr, who's been an absolute hero for Somerset this evening, coming back to haunt his old club. And he can only watch on here with a big Heat 15 decider.
Well, he could have been chosen, but Gary May has elected to go with Cameron Heaps, who has been very impressive. You said earlier on that Somerset might be able to pick up all 4 points here. I couldn't see it at all. I may be proved completely wrong now, because if they come up with a big 5-1 in Heat 15, they will walk away with 4 points, and that will be a marvellous effort. When you look how close it's been, heat after heat, very little to choose between the two teams. Massive race for the home team. You just sense for their own confidence and the future of the team for the remainder of this season, they need a draw. They need a 5-1 here to really give themselves a boost. Really has been an entertaining night. Robert Lambert, joined by Thomas Jorgensen on the inside. Big moments for them.
And if it is a draw, by the way, Somerset would take 2 points by drawing away from home. Heat number 15 it is, the decider it is. Here we go, and Grzonik has made a beauty for the Somerset Rebels in white, and that will do it for Somerset. That will win the match for them, and he's pulling clear down that back straight. Second place is Robert Lambert. Thomas Jorgensen is third right now, and the Stars need to somehow, some way, get their way through. But Josh Grzonik is quick, and he looks to have the race under control.
Brilliant start from gate number 2. Gate 2's been brilliant this evening, particularly in the second half of the night. There's no doubt it's worked very well indeed, and he made a great start. He remained composed and really nailed it to the first turn. Thomas Jorgensen is really having a go round the outside. I just don't know if it's going to be enough, and Cameron Heaps has just been left in 4th place. We're going into the last lap. Is there anything they can do about Josh Krashonik out in front?
Well, into the last lap, and Josh Krashonik looks like being the last heat hero for the Somerset Rebels in their first appearance on TV in the top flight of British Speedway, and it looks as though Krashonik has done enough. Somerset win! It's a 2-point victory away from home for the Somerset Rebels in a thoroughly entertaining night of British Speedway here at the Adrian Flux Arena.